Мы продолжаем рассказ о Стиве Morvellе, человеке, большую часть жизни проведшем на природе среди диких животных, художнике, посвятившем 40 лет жизни охране природы, путешествовавшем и творившем в Западном Китае, Африке, Непале и малозаселенных районах Австралии.
The thing I love about nature is you really never see the same thing twice. There's so much to learn. It's just incredible. I never get bored with nature. As an Aboriginal friend said to me years ago, he was a very wise man, he said, "We don't own the land, Steve, the land owns us." And he said, the trouble with you white fellas is you look at things just long enough to hang a label on it and then you move on. But he said, us black fellas, we look at things twice. Once with the head, and secondly, most important, with the heart. And he said, that's the bit you white fellas need to learn. And that's what I've been saying to people ever since. That was about 30 years ago.
Особые чувства Стив испытывает к коалам. В результате лесных пожаров только на острове Кенгуру, любимом месте Стива, было потеряно около 42 тысяч коал, которые представляли особую ценность как свободная от болезней популяция, поскольку многие оставшиеся популяции на материке страдают от хламидиоза, опасной болезни, приводящей к слепоте, серьезным инфекциям мочевыводящих путей и полному бесплодию у этого драгоценного вида. Вся прибыль, полученная от продажи любых работ Стива с изображением коал, идет напрямую в некоммерческий фонд Koala Territory Foundation.
And I know your latest project, correct me if I'm wrong, is Koala Territory Foundation.
Yeah, koalas were extinct in the Grampians. Koalas in Victoria, I have to say, koalas in Australia back at the end of the 19th century were almost extinct. They were extinct in South Australia. They've never been on any islands. On the mainland in New South Wales, they're almost extinct. In Queensland, they were under great threat from fur hunting. And in Victoria, there were maybe 600 koalas left from 3 different genetic strains. And that's all we had. And koalas were then taken to places like Kangaroo Island where they never lived, and they were encouraged to breed there. And places like the Grampians, they were brought back to the Grampians. But in a classic misunderstanding of how to manage nature, Parks Victoria reintroduced diseased koalas into the Grampians. And that disease, chlamydia, went through the entire population of koalas in the Grampians, and now they're extinct here again. So, Parks Victoria, I used to be a ranger for Parks Victoria, they're so ashamed of that, they say it didn't happen. But it did. I was here watching it happen. And I saw the last baby koala born here in about 1998 or thereabouts, and there hasn't been one since. They're all gone. So that's a problem, and that's happening with koalas all over Australia where they occur, the east coast mainly and down south. I joined with some very, very amazing koala biologists that I happen to have worked with over the years doing children in art programs, and we just happened to pick on the koala as a beautiful animal and a great flagship species in an ecosystem as well, a keystone species. So we were teaching kids about koalas at the same time as we were teaching them how to draw and paint them. And the kids loved that. And that's gone on now to become the Koala Territory Foundation.
KTF стремится помочь защитить среду обитания коал. Фонд выкупает землю, пригодную для жизни коал, защищает эту территорию от строительства или другого использования, чтобы создать пространство и условия для расселения коал. В грандиозных планах организации создание непрерывных коридоров из одного леса в другой, чтобы коалы могли спокойно перемещаться, восстановление растительности, борьба с вредителями растений и животных, строительство госпиталей для коал.
The story behind this lady is, firstly, she is a lady, she's different to the males, but a white goshawk is quite rare in Victoria, more common in Tasmania.
Грустная история о белом ястребе Оливии, великолепной и отважной леди, которую подстрелили невежественные охотники. С 7 пулями в теле и вывихом плеча Оливия, с трудом поднявшаяся в воздух, попала под колеса автомобиля. По счастью, ястреба вовремя доставили в приют и оказали помощь ветеринара.
The fact is they are becoming very rare. This one had been hit by a car, and a friend of ours who cares for injured and orphaned wildlife took this bird into care, and she told me about it, and I went down to meet the bird and to spend some time with her. And I was struck by just how incredibly beautiful. I've seen them before in the wild, but this one, to be in the same aviary with her, to be within touching distance of her. And she's just the most beautiful bird, but to understand at the same time she'd been hit by a car, so her life was made a tragedy because someone thought it was a good idea to shoot her because maybe she was threatening his pigeons or who knows what. I was profoundly moved by her. She's just magnificent. And to be in the same space with her wild heart, even though she was in a big cage and I was in there with her and the owner that was looking after her, she was still wild and made it very known to me if I tried to touch her, she would attack me. And so would I. I wouldn't blame her for that at all. But the sad part is she did die 2 weeks later. She didn't survive.
You gave her life forever with your picture.
That's what I try to do, yes. And when people say to me, what is this bird? Then I tell them the story.